So I was doing a little reading last night. I went back, and this week Mel Kiper regraded the NFL draft. And of course, the Seattle Seahawks had the biggest jump when it came to draft grade, a C- after draft day. And regrading that draft class, they were an A. And I wasn't looking at that. We know that story very much. Instead, I started to look at the other teams. And it struck me as Mel was regrading the San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens and those teams, there was a bunch of incomplete. And the commentary was, well, what needs does San Francisco really have? They were a team that was so deep. What were they going to do in the draft last year to really add to their team? And I think that will be some of the conversation come April. Where do the Seahawks draft? What needs do they have? Pete Carroll reinforced that. Not all these draft picks are going to make the team. It's going to be very hard to find a contributing role with so many young guys that have been established. And the more I thought of that, sure, I agree with it, but there's one position group highlighted this week by Leroy Hill that I think there is still a need for an infusion of talent, indifferent talent. Bobby Wagner, breakthrough year. I think did more than any of us expected. KJ Wright, I think he's on the way to being a very, very productive pro, but there is that weak side linebacker position, and in this defense in particular, rushing the passer, playing in coverage, you know what the biggest single difference between San Francisco and Seattle is? Without a doubt. The biggest difference between these two organizations is what San Francisco has in the middle of their defense. Those two linebackers that never leave the field. Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis, you're going to watch them on Sunday. They play coverage, they play run, they rush the passer, they're multifaceted. I'd like to see this Seahawks defense infuse himself with even more talent at linebacker, keep those guys on the field for 3 downs, then you become very, very difficult to game plan against.